and welcome to a brand new episode of ITWU Knows, ITWU Shows. Today I will show you how to create an individual workflow within a few minutes without the need for technical IT skills. And for this I will use our web-based workflow engine ITWU Simple Processes. So I go right into the application and choose the tab Configuration to configure my workflow. Here you can see some of the workflows I've already created. And then I say New and choose a name for my process. Here you can see the automatically generated process ID. You can choose between a main process and a sub-process being just a part of a main process. Of course, our offer creation is a standalone process, so we choose main. We want to use the simple user interface, not the individual user interface, because we have no technical skills whatsoever. And then we can set the persons responsible for this process, being those employees who can edit, change and delete the process and all of its activities and fields and so on. So we choose me. And in the next step, we define who is supposed to access the future workflow in read-only mode. So we choose all of our employees. Then we can choose if we want the history to be enabled. We drop the description for now and go directly to the selection of the possible initiators of the workflow. For we do not have added any activities to the process yet, so we cannot set a start activity for the workflow yet. So for the initiators, it's of course all of our employees again. Let me save this, and then we need to add some activities, or let's say the different steps of the workflow, and say add activity. So the first activity is of course to create the offer. We have the activity ID again automatically generated, and again we have to choose a person responsible for this activity, so the person who is able to create and to edit this step of the process. Of course, everyone should be able to create an offer. And everyone should be able to see these offer creations, so readers as well, ITWU employees. The activity is supposed to be forwarded to another employee, for example to review and approve the offer, so this option needs to be activated. As well as the next option that enables another person responsible for this activity to claim the activity and operate on it instead of the person it was forwarded to or initially created by. We chose to use the simple user interface during the process configuration. Now these two fields, Xpage and Form, are already defined, so we don't need to worry about them. Of course, we need to define another activity before we can set the next step. So we just say OK and New. The next activity is of course to review the offer. And this activity is supposed to be processed by one of my superiors, so when I create an offer I need to choose to which of my superior I forward the job. In order to do so, we may choose the option compute value en route and define an add formula, but as we all know, we don't have technical IT skills, so we simply choose the next option, show dialog en route, and we can simply select our dialog choices. Here they are. Choose the readers again and on to the next activity. So Karl or Stefan can decide if the offer is correct or need to be modified. So approve or decline it. If the offer is declined, it needs to go back to the creator and needs to be edited. And here we can really choose the option compute value en route, because we know that the offer needs to be edited by its creator. And we will define a field later with the name creator, where the creator of the offer will put his name in. So we just need to write down the name of this field, which will be, as I said, creator. But if the offer is approved, the creator can dispatch it. And now we have all of our activities, but we still need to define the next steps, or let's say the order in which they are supposed to be processed. So we open our first activity again and choose activity for the next step. For the next step needs to be review the offer. Okay. With the next activity you need to choose question, because there are two choices: edit the offer and dispatch the offer. The following step of edit the offer is, of course, review the offer, because it needs to be reviewed after being modified. And there is no next step to dispatch the offer, because then the job is done. There is just one thing you should never forget after having finished all of your activities, and that is to define a start activity for the whole process. So we go back to the process configuration and scroll down a bit and set the start activity to create the offer. Save. And now our next job is to define the forms for the different activities and add the respective fields. As I said before, during the creation of the activity edit the offer, we need a name field for the creator. We drop the width and the height for now and choose the type of the fields, which needs to be a name text box. Now the creator should be always visible and not only in selected activities. It's always required and never read only. Say save. And then we need a date for the offer, of course. And we need to choose a customer. Now, of course, you are supposed to upload the offer as PDF or so, and your superior needs to download it in order to review it. So we need an upload and a download file field with exactly the same name but different labels. So for the name we choose offer, the label is upload offer. And again offer and download offer. Then your superior needs a radio button to make his decision whether or not the offer should be approved or not. But this field is only supposed to be visible, required, and read only in selected activities. So you can select those activities. With the radio button, you need to separate the different choices with a comma. So we choose approved and declined, and you can also set default value for the radio button, but you don't need to. And then, last but not least, your superior should be able to leave a comment on the offer, so you know what you need to modify. So we need a rich text field as well, but it's not always required. Now we have finished all of our fields. I will just show you a quick example of the creation of a notification, because it won't make much sense to show you all notifications, because I have no access to my superior's mail file to demonstrate how they work, so I just will create a notification for myself, which will be sent to me when one of my superiors has finished his review and wants me to modify the offer. So we go to notification and say new and call it edit offer. We choose the activity edit the offer, because this notification should be dispatched to me whenever the activity edit the offer starts. The recipient of the notification is, of course, the creator of the offer. Choose a subject. And now we can choose the type of links that should be integrated into the message for me to easily get to the respective document right from the message. So we need a document link on the web, and the X page name for the document is easily to find. As we go back to the activities overview, you can see the X page simple job XSP. And if you're using the simple user interface, as we do, the name of the X page is always the same, always simplejob.xsp. So we go back to the notifications. Select simple job XSP. And of course we want a database link. And that's it. Now we can actually first save the workflow again, and then we can actually start our first job of this process. To do so, we change the tab on the top to General, click on New Job, and select the process you would like to start, which is offer creation. And here is the form of our first activity, create the offer. The creator is me. The date is today, and the customer is whatever. Now you can simply upload the offer and say next step. Yes, I really want to forward this job. And now I can select a processor for the next steps. We choose cargos. Normally, Carl would now receive a notification to receive the links to the job document. But as we are not allowed to access his mail file, we just need to search for the document with these views. So we go to the view by job number and just choose the last offer creation, and we see that's the document we just created. And now we claim this job and can review the offer and can say approved or decline. In this case we say declined and leave our comments. And now say next job. The creator, that would be me, needs to edit the offer right now, so we choose the next step, edit the offer. And now, as I go to my mail file, we see that I just received my notification with the 2 links to the document in the database, and when I click on this document link, it leads me directly back to my process. Now we can open document again, read it again, modify it, and upload the modified offer, leave my comments, and just forward it again to Cargos. So as you can see, we have created a whole reviewing workflow within a few minutes time, and it was pretty easy, wasn't it? And this way it works with all other processes containing approvals and reviews, from simple vacation requests to complex risk management. I admit, for the complex risk management workflow you will need some technical skills, but nothing what your IT department can't handle, and of course we are always there to help you if your processes get way too complex. So if you have any questions or suggestions for improvements concerning ITWU Simple Processes, or you want to test the application, just give us a call or send us an email. But for now, just let me say thanks for your attention, and see you soon at the next episode of ITWU Knows, ITWU Shows.